Taylor's impending retirement will add to the festive atmosphere of the series against Bangladesh. Mount Maunganui will host the first test of the new year, with Tom Latham standing in as captain for the injured Kane Williamson. This will be New Zealand's first test at home since winning the World Test Championship. And earlier this week, I caught up with all-rounder Mitchell Santner to look back on a memorable year for New Zealand cricket. Mitchell, thank you for your time. You've just returned home after a rather long stint on the road. How difficult has it been for the professional sports person in these COVID times?
Yeah, it's obviously a challenge. I think the last stint away was 3.5 months or so. So it's but obviously the first leg was the IPL, which was awesome to be part of. Obviously Chennai got the wins, which was outstanding, and then we roll on pretty quickly to the T20 World Cup, which was not bad as well for New Zealand. So I guess it's just what we have to do at the moment, in COVID times, and I guess when you come back to New Zealand, you've got to do at least 7 days quarantine. But after a long tour like that, you're pretty keen for a rest, so you pretty much just sleep for the week.
Yes, we are all looking forward to some sleep on the 1st of January as well. But there's a series coming up against Bangladesh at home. And not just is it the first test match of New Year, there's also a new partnership with Prime Video to stream all New Zealand matches in India. Are you looking forward to that?
Yeah, that's awesome, to see cricket in New Zealand on another platform, is outstanding. So, if we've got some diehard Indian fans that want to watch, the Kiwis play Bangladesh, they're more than welcome to tune in. It might be some early hours or some late nights, but hopefully you can put on a bit of show for them.
We'll probably go with the early hours, but New Zealand and India seem to be running into each other a lot these days, especially in the big tournaments. But the relationship between the two countries remains very close, and New Zealand players have always been regulars at the IPL as well. How do you think this new partnership will exploit that relationship?
Yeah, it's obviously probably only get better. Like you said, the relationship is very good. We both fight pretty hard on the field, but then, off it, everyone's pretty keen to sit down and have a relaxing conversation about stuff. And like you said, we're very lucky to be at the IPL. I've had 5 or 6 players most years for the IPL, and to share a change room with you guys you grow up watching is pretty cool. To play under MS Dhoni has been a massive one for me. I think it's to bowl alongside the likes of Jadeja is not a bad thing as well, being a left-arm spinner myself.
You speak about the camaraderie, but I'm not going to go down what you did against India in the T20 World Cup. Now, the New Zealand versus Bangladesh series will be the first for your team as world champions on home soil. Are you aware of the cricket board or the home fans planning any celebrations, Mitchell?
No, I guess we haven't really talked about it. I guess it was such an amazing achievement for the guys back in June, July. But like the international schedule now, you roll on pretty quickly. We've already had another ICC event before that, so obviously we would have liked a couple more points, maybe coming from the World Championship series there in India. But we know that it's going to be a decent Bangladesh side, and we're going to try take 2 wins here for the points for the next Test Championship.
Also, Mitchell, can you explain what it meant to the New Zealand cricketing fraternity to win the World Test Championships? Because the history of New Zealand cricket has been a case of near misses, one of so near yet so far on multiple occasions.
Yeah, it was massive. We all grow up watching Test cricket. You always want to represent New Zealand, get your baggie. and play Test cricket. So to win, I guess our first ICC trophy was outstanding. Was pretty special. It was a lot of hard work that went in, especially I think we played 22, players throughout the 2-year cycle. For all those guys that I guess played, represented New Zealand to get across the line, and like you said, we've been close in a few white ball finals now. We tied one, but that didn't count back in 2019. To get our first one was pretty special, and hopefully try to do it again, but wait and see.
It's sort of nice to see you smile when you bring up the 2019 World Cup final, but we all watched how that 2019 final played out. How did the team sort of channel that hurt, Mitchell, and how did it serve to motivate the group heading into the final of the Test Championships?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it was, being there personally, it was a tough to swallow. It was, you come so close, and but I guess you can obviously look back on a few different moments and think, if we just did this, or if this happened, it could have been different. But like you said, I think, we channeled that, and then, that was, served as, I guess, motivation, some drive to be there and go, that one step further and win a title. I guess to beat India in the final was outstanding. I guess the preparation there was massive as well. We were lucky enough to play 2 tests against England, in England before the final, whereas, India had to fly off for that one-off game. So, I think that was a big help as well.
Okay, we've seen over the years the ability of New Zealand cricket teams to adapt to changing circumstances. I don't mean any disrespect, but the ICC World T20 wasn't a tournament many expected the Black Caps to do well in, but you were in the final. What do you think explains this remarkable consistency, especially at the big tournaments?
I think, the depth we've got at the moment is definitely, better than it has been in the last, a few years. We're quite confident, with the players we've got. And I guess with the setup of the tournament this year is, we had 2 big games to start. We had Pakistan and India. If we could try, get to maybe beat one out of 2 of those, and then we can, try roll on from there and get a bit of momentum. So we knew, after losing to Pakistan in Sharjah, we had a massive game against India. We were obviously lucky enough to start well there and take that, and then just trying to, take that momentum on throughout the tournament. T20 is such a massive momentum game. If you can get on a bit of a roll, you can be tough to stop. We've seen that in the past, and I think it goes down to a lot of like stuff behind the scenes, like a lot of scouting, a lot of plans that are in place, and then all we try to do is take it game by game and have a clear head, keep it pretty simple, and I think the results have shown in the last few years that it's going all right for us.
I mean, you've led the T20I squad before as well. You did lead in India as well when you were here. You're aware of the pulls and pressures of being a captain. Now, how does Kane Williamson manage to do it so calmly and still be one of the top batters in the world across formats?
Yeah, it's obviously definitely a challenge. Trying to think. I guess being a batter, you can obviously, you can break it up. You can worry about your batting and then go into the bowling innings with, your plans in place and rotating, as captains do. So, it's definitely a challenge. And, Kane's had an unbelievable ability to captain, do that side, and then be able to park it when he's batting and just, go out and play the way he always does. And he's been an outstanding player for us for a while. So, and I guess I've been lucky enough to play under, different captains at different times. And he's definitely up there with, some of the calmest, him and I guess probably MS Dhoni.
I've asked you a lot of questions about your team. I want to ask one to you, because you've obviously bowled a lot to Kane, Williamson in the nets. But outside of your teammates, Mitchell, who has been the sort of most difficult batsman that you've bowled to in ODIs, in tests and in T20s? And if you could explain to us why?
I guess for me, being a left-arm spinner, when you come up against some big hitting left-handers, they're pretty tough to stop. The likes of Gale and Rishabh Pant, he's always a tough one. And then you got your guys that reverse and play hard sweeps can be quite challenging at times. Guys like Morgan, I don't mind at times to bowl to right-handers if there is a little bit of turn. That's probably got to be outside of New Zealand. Doesn't really spin over here. But I guess that's why we enjoy going, subcontinent conditions, especially me as being a spinner. Going to India, there's always a little bit of hold, that can work in your favour. And one other is probably Joss Butler. He's pretty tough to bowl to when he's going, that's for sure.
On that note, Mitchell Santner, thank you very much for speaking to us. 2021 was a big year for New Zealand cricket, and we wish you even more success in the new year.
Thanks for having me.